Number 4. This is 4 right now, and
while at the station, she saw a wanted poster with a composite sketch of the Zodiac and identified the person as the man who kidnapped her. Her car was later found gutted and burnt, but throughout the years, John's account of the night's events has changed from her original statement.
yeah, see, I just don't think it. I don't think it was him. I goddamn don't think it was him, because by the 4th month he was there in Port Angeles. He was back. Matter of fact, I think he killed. I know he killed the
Zodiac sent a letter to the Chronicle,
woman that was close to the highway market, and the Connors, and the little leather boy. The boy had an L in his name. The Connors up there, the Port Angeles boys that got murdered out there in 1970. Right there, my dad and Jerry and them did it right there to quiet everybody. And also there was a woman that was right there by our gas station and Marty Johnson's store right there. Danny Johnson was right there too, and she just lived up 3 blocks, I believe. Bertha Louise Burke is her name, by the way. And that, my dad did that right before we headed out. We took off to Moss Rock, Washington. I was abducted in the middle of the night. I found myself in the back seat of a car. I didn't even get to finish my school. I wonder what the school said. Jesus Christ, where's this guy? My mom's running the gas station. Oh no, it's okay. They moved. You know.
He took credit for another shooting, but gave no specifics.
AMF is right there. AMF bowling machine parts, by the way. Right there on that first line.
Also included with a Phillips 66 map of the Bay Area. A clock-like face was drawn around Mount Diablo, with a 0 at the top. The number 3
and right there on the opposite side, when they shoot across, there's Antioch, California, with a paper mill right there. That's where my dad was at. And Darlene Farron's murder was just a little ways away over to the left of that, over there. And my dad went over there, they murdered him at that park, Mayland Park, Kent. They killed him at the park.
In this letter, also sent to the Chronicle, the Zodiac took credit for abducting Kathleen Jones 4 months earlier and described burning the car, a fact that only one local paper, the Modesto Bee, had printed. In this next letter, the Zodiac included his own twisted version of the song, I've Got a Little List, from the Gilbert and Sullivan's music.
Now that's my dad, and I've got a little list. Oh boy, I say that all the time too.
Was a giant cross circle, a score notion of equals 13, SFPD equals, and the words, P.S. The Mount Diablo code concerns radians, plus hashtag inches along the radians. In 1981, Zodiac researcher Gareth Penn figured out when placing a radian angle over the map, it pointed to 2 locations where the Zodiac attacks took place. 3 months had passed without any further communication from the Zodiac. Then a card written with cut-out letters from a magazine and newspapers was sent to the Chronicle. The card bore 13 holes and indicated that there had been another Zodiac victim and that he considered himself crack-proof. Originally considered as a hoax, certain letter configurations and the phrase crack-proof later reappeared in confirmed Zodiac letters, adding new authenticity to this
6 of us. Yeah, I mean, I can read the last thing. October 27th, that's the day my friend was murdered.
Received a Halloween card.
In 1975, Terry Lance Shortridge with an L in the middle of his name. They named the bowling alley
received another letter urging him to investigate the similarities between the known Zodiac murders and the murders of the college students Sherry and Joe Bates years earlier. On the 30th of October 1966, Sherry Jo Bates, aged 18, was studying at the Riverside College Library Annex until the library closed at 9 p.m. Investigators suspect that her Volkswagen parked outside the library was
1966, when this stuff was going on, my dad was gone out of Port Angeles, Washington. There was insurance papers right there, and I was showed by my brother Jim how much we were worth, and I was worth like $2,000. My mother and Jim took me to a place called Hurricane Ridge up over Port Angeles, Washington, and I was told by my brother Jim, go over and look straight down and come back and tell me what you found. And when I went over there and I tried to look straight down, I almost fell to my death, and I came back, and my mother beat me, and my brother Jim stood behind her.
7-inch wristband displaying the time
like 2 little weirdos.
Fingerprints and a palm print.
You know, and that's what it's been all my life, is 2 little weirdos. And then I was being held in a rabbit cage. My dad was gone a lot of times.
2 identical letters were sent to the Riverside Police and the Riverside Press Enterprise by someone claiming to be responsible for the killing of Bates.
By
the
myself.
letters included a poem titled The Confession, which offered details of the murder that only the police and killer knew about. The letters also included a warning that she was not the first or the last of his victims. Many believe the tone of the letter was very similar to that of the Zodiac letters, mailed after the Vallejo murders. In December 1966, a cleaner at the Riverside City College discovered a poem carved into the underside of a folding desk. The poem titled, Sick of Living, Unwilling to Die. It had a tone similar to that of the Zodiac, as well as handwriting which looked like some found in the Zodiac letters. Some believe the author, who signed the poem with the initials RH, was describing the murder of Bates. Others theorize that the letter was written by a student who had unsuccessfully tried to kill themselves. However, Sherwood Morrill, one of California's top question documents examiners, was of the opinion that the true author of the poem was the Zodiac. But 6 months after the murder of Bates, 3 nearly identical letters were received by the Riverside Press and the Riverside Police, and Sherry Jo Bates' father. The letters all contained more postage than was necessary, and 2 of the letters were signed with a symbol, which looked like the letter Z, next to the number 3. The Zodiac letters sent in the 1970s all contained excessive postage,
you know, you don't let me go like this,
and the threat that more murders would follow. The 2 letters received by the newspaper and police read, Bates had to die, there will be more. The Bates murder was never solved. The Riverside Police Department maintains that the local man was a key suspect, although the letters sent may have been written by him.
Tell them about it. You know what? A lot of people, they name their names
a letter
like
was sent to the Los Angeles Times
Carla Baker,
because as the writer
CD.
they don't
tell them about it, Carla Baker. Or how about Michael, Microphone? Or how about Tracy, the spy? You know, and all these people. And this is what my family does.
The letter included the score,
SFPD how it is.
Cross Circle 17.
And they actually use these people to spy on me, by the way. Why? Because like I told my sister when I told her, I said when I found all this out recently, and I let her simmer for months, you know. She knows to act like
thought to be from the Zodiac.
No. Yes. And I said, and I came to a point, I said, you know, Bonnie, I said, you guys have the luxury of knowing all of this, and I knew nothing. And I said, you guys put my life in danger, you put my family in danger, you put people around me in danger, and all my friends got goddamn killed.
One to her employer, and one to her landlord, by an unidentified caller, who said Lass had a family emergency and had left town. The postcard
I know 20 people that was murdered.
Made up of lettering,
one of them was murdered right in front of me.
And contained a picture of an act of the condominium complex known as
whenever
the
people got near me, they got killed. Why? Are these people saying something to them? I see him talking to somebody. We'll kill him. You see, my brother Jerry was collecting pigeons in Port Angeles. He's the pigeon keeper. You know, a matter of fact, he'll do this. He'll frame somebody to take the rap for him when his hands got caught murdering. The Merwins is 1985, and the only reason why this case even got brought up and this guy was framed, Rick Reif, was because I brought it up and I told him all about Jerry Wright and when he was in Washington State and when it happened and how he went on the run after it happened. Even from Nevada, he quit his job and he went on the run, and he was on cocaine all the way. That there's, it looks just like my dad's brother, by the way, the Sherry Joe, and by the way, his picture's right up here. My dad and his brother is right here.
The Zodiac sent the Chronicle a letter describing the movie The Exorcist as the best satirical comedy that I have ever seen. It also included a part of a verse from the Mikado, a hieroglyphic-type drawing.
And that's my brother Jerry's face right there. He looks just like my dad.
His signature score changed to read Me 37, SFPD 0. The Chronicle received a letter from a concerned citizen complaining about the movie Badlands and asking the paper to stop advertising it. Although the Zodiac did not identify himself as the author of the letter, some felt the similarities of the tone and the handwriting was unmistakably that of the Zodiac.
8th of July.
A complaint is regarding the
8th Lane Bowling Alley.
columnist, Marco Spinelli, who used the pen name Count Marco, was received at the newspaper and ended the letter with,
it's also 8th of July, that was 3 days probably after
somebody at the Zodiac sent the letter, others do not. Doubting that the letters were really authored by the Zodiac, Police Detective David Toshi sent them to the FBI laboratory, who responded that the letters were probably prepared by the writer of the Zodiac letters. No other communication was received by the Zodiac.
This guy right here, he got caught falsifying letters and stuff for the Zodiac, taking his own goddamn credit, playing a game with people too, and he's no more than what? The detective on the case, and it's cops. By the way, I wanted to point that out right there because I kind of got lost in what he was doing right there, but now I'm on to what he did.
Working on the case. Toshi turned the letters over to John Shimoda of the US Postal Service Crime Laboratory to verify if the letters were authored by the Zodiac, instead of giving them to the Chief Examiner for the Questioned Documents Division of the SFPD. Why he made that decision is unknown. However, Shimoda did verify that letter, and it was authored by the Zodiac. 4 experts 3 months later declared the letter a hoax. But at the time, Toshi was in the middle of a political battle and looking at possibly replacing the current chief of police. For all those who adored Toshi, many just wanted him to go away. Once it became known that the letters were a hoax, many pointed the finger at Toshi, believing he had forged the letter. The suspicions about Toshi forging the Zodiac letter was based on an early incident involving the columnist Armistead Malpin, who was writing a series for the Chronicle called Tales of the City. He received a lot of fan mail for the series, and in an effort to verify that the letters were legitimate, he became suspicious that Toshi had written some of them under fake names. Malpin made the decision to do nothing about it at the time, but when the forged Zodiac letters surfaced, Malpin thought it was possible Toshi was responsible for the reported fake fan letters and is suspicious of Toshi's superiors. But Toshi eventually admitted to writing the fan letters, but always denied the implications that he forged the Zodiac letter and insisted the rumors were politically
always
motivated.
lie, and what they do,
is just one example of
he altered the case that was never caught, and that led to the D.B. Cooper crime too, by the way. It was an inside job all the way, man.
Detectives continue to receive telephone calls with weekly tips.
I wonder how much damages they owe me.
The case remains open in some jurisdictions, but the San Francisco Police Department has designated it unsolved and inactive.
My face, my brother Jerry's face, right there. Frame job. Then they put us on the run. They put me on the run. Jerry Wright knows what he's doing. He's peddling drugs for me. I gotta go to the next case. Shut this one off. That was 4, I believe.